Thanks again for stopping by, everybody. This is Budget Wine with Bacchus Bruce. Always pleased to have you here. Have a wonderful looking food and wine pairing to try tonight. This is the 2014 Domaine de Pellehaut. This is a Gascony red wine coming out of southeast France. Tannat-based wine, done with a bit of Cabernet Sauvignon, touch of Merlot, and a little bit of Syrah as well. Got this for $5.99 at the grocery outlet, and really a nice introduction to Gascony wine. As we remember from the tasting video, just 10% of the total production of the region is done with red and rosé wine, so a bit of an outlier. Probably not the easiest wine to find. Certainly interesting, though. They call it the Harmonie de Gascogne, which is the harmony of Gascony, kind of reflecting the beautiful cuisine of the region and the history of the region as well. As you can do some history digging, you'll be able to find that there's quite a rich history of dining, a lot of duck and goose production. So you've got beautiful foie gras, you've got beautiful pâtés, and on and on and on. So did a little bit of kind of a twist on that whole theme. Instead of duck, we're using a quail, which I got at the the 99 Ranch Market over in Fremont. Can't really find quail at grocery outlet. Got a 6-pack of this Manchurian golden quail for $10. Pretty excited about it. So did that with a little blush wine sauce and spiced it with black cardamom seed that's been ground up, and really kind of adds a real fun dynamic to it. Got a touch of sweetness, a really strong savory component, pretty powerful flavoring, typically found in Indian cuisine with curries. Did a little puree to go with that. This is done with yucca root and turnip. A little off the beaten path. Yucca usually is something you find in Latin cuisines, Latin America, and turnips, of course, are turnips with parsnips and potatoes and all that business. And then have some Chinese long beans to go with it, which are not that much different from green beans, but a little bit bitter, more bitter, and certainly a little bit longer, right? So let's go ahead and revisit the wine here. We were really kind of raving about how delicious it was. And it is certainly good. It is medium-bodied. At the 2014 vintage, the tannins are softening up a little bit. It seems you can kind of tell by the color, the maturity's starting to kind of turn the corner a little bit. And finish is lovely, has a lot of black tea and tobacco note. A little bit of that kind of sour berry sort of thing going on, but really a very nice little wine. Decent acidity and a nice finish. Very pleased to have the opportunity to try a wine like this. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. So the quail, one of the fun things about quail, if you've not had it before, is that it's really about the little kind of close to the bone meat. So being small birds, there's lots of that, and that's really where the good flavor is. Now you can certainly dive into the breast meat, which we have right here, to kind of just to get to the easy part of it. Farm raised, so it's not going to be a super assertive flavor profile with the quail. Let's go ahead and see what we have. And it's really very, very good. You can kind of tell the difference between this and regular chicken. It's got a little bit stronger flavor, a little bit touch more gamey. But the cardamom sauce kind of really brightens things up. It kind of really gives it a nice kind of dimension and kick. A little bit of sweetness, as I mentioned. Wonderful, just kind of showy spice. Really terrific. Let's see how it goes with the wine. And what it does is allows kind of a more fruit to jump out of the glass. So I'm getting a lot more raspberries and cherry fruit. The cardamom kind of just brings that out of the wine. It's really quite terrific. So the puree, again, done fairly simply with butter and half and half. Yucca is a little bit more kind of a stringy, chewier sort of starch. And then turnips are, for the most part, just kind of a potato cousin, if you will. but really terrific. I guess you add butter and cream to anything and it makes it wonderful, but certainly a nice foil to the kind of almost loud and assertive sauce here. Let's see how that goes with the wine. And what the starch does is it kind of brings out more of the tannic structure to the wine. You can kind of get a little bit more of the tannat sort of dimension to it. Really terrific. Food and wine pairing is always a lot of fun. Now, green beans are green beans for the most part. Nothing too fancy with that. But, you know, we do want to try to eat healthy whenever possible, right? Can't eat meat and potatoes every day. So really a great food and wine pairing. Really excited you could stop by and try this out with me. So the 2014 red Gascony wine. This is the Domaine de Pellehaut from the Montréal de Gers part of southeast France. And some beautiful golden quail. 99 Ranch Market, always a good place to find interesting meats and seafood as well. With the puree and Chinese long beans, a lot of fun. This is Bacchus Bruce, budget wine, food and wine pairing, always a good time. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in the tasting room. Enjoy the rest of your day.